one called Denny's here on the right hand side. You know Denny's?
To there last night. Is that very famous?
Yeah,
It's the US.
Yes. Oh, in the US.
It's the US.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the US place.
And yeah, we're gonna. And there's more. But the whole aim of today is really to give you a great overview of Auckland. That's what we'll do. Yeah. Just for the afternoon for us.
The Sky Tower as well.
Oh, did you? How was that?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw something jump.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll give and our friends from Jennifer and family.
Yes.
Where are you? Is this the stop number 1 in New Zealand?
Auckland, Christchurch, and then Sydney.
Auckland, Christchurch, and then Sydney. Wow.
You are going to the South Island.
And Mr. Watson, how long are you in New Zealand for?
I'd like to comment.
Are you just visiting, are you? Oh. We're just coming across the bottom of the city. It looks like Godzilla's attacked the place down here. We're building a new underground railway system.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So it's yeah. And we're just coming down to the wharf area. Like I said, just going to pick up 4 more guests, and then we'll be underway. And this down here is the harbour side. So lots of ferries through here. So we've got a wonderful array of beautiful islands out in the harbour, and we'll see a few of them as we journey around the place. But you can catch the ferry here from the ferry building here to the right hand side. Takes you across to all these lovely islands. There's Waiheke Island, lots of beautiful wineries there. About 45 minutes by ferry.
Is that between the South and the North Island?
It's just like now we'll just pick up 4 more guests from here. There's Jeff.
I checked it.
Windows that open and close, so if you need fresh air, just open the windows. Oh, by the way, we're just going past our entertainment area here to the right, so there's about 40 restaurants, bars, nightclubs in there that you can go to after the tour.
That's nice and close too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what else is there? Oh, by the way, sorry, just with windows, I just sort of mentioned you can open and close the windows, so if you get it's a bit too hot, yeah, just open the window. If it's a bit too cold, just close the window. I think guess this week, and this is unseasonably warm for us. We're deep into May now, and it's almost like a summer day.
It's nice.
Yeah, brilliant. Now the only window that doesn't open
It's
is the emergency exit.
good on you.
Now for that you need the hammer.
No,
I've got it up here, I found that.
Just in case. And that's out of a population of 4.9 million.
wow.
So 1/3 of the entire population of New Zealand lives here.
I know, you did tell us that. Jeffrey
Yeah.
told us that.
Now, I just thought I'd mention too, we're going to go over the harbour bridge now, and we do bungee jumping off the harbour bridge, and we have got time. It was said that Kupe, he was a Polynesian sailor, sailing across the world's biggest ocean, and nothing more than a twin-hull catamaran, 2 logs, plank in the middle, a sail, and sailed across the world's biggest ocean. Now, it was said that the ancestors came all the way back from Southeast Asia, and island hopped across the Pacific to Tahiti and down to New Zealand 1,000 years ago. And Kupe saw this place, and he saw this big long cloud bank called fog. By the way, did I mention I was going to speak a bit of Māori? I will do the commentary in English. See very shortly. And he said it was Roa, the cloud, or followed them down. So he called the place Aotearoa, land of the long white cloud. And that's the Māori name for New Zealand today. Loved by the locals. But a second European did land on land, and he was the great English explorer, Captain James Cook, in 1769. And that's when the British flag went into the ground. And I guess that's why I speak English. Captain Cook. Sort of.
Wow, it's like
And the city itself is incorporated on the 26th of January 1840. So we're actually 179 years old as a city. And incidentally, that's the same day as Australia Day.
oh,
There you go. They're trying to change it though, remember?
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of that.
Now, without the bridge here to the right, it would have taken us an hour to get to the other side. With the bridge, it should only take a couple of minutes. And when this bridge was built, we called this bridge the coat hanger. But we couldn't really call it the coat hanger because there's a rather large bridge in Sydney, Australia with the same nickname.
that's right.
And when we built the bridge, it was only built with the 4 centre lanes. Within a few years, it was gridlocked, so they had to put these clip-ons. There's 2 here that we're going over now and 2 on the far side. And in honour of the Japanese company that built these clip-ons, we now call this the bridge with the Nippon clip-ons. True story. And this harbour here to the left is called the Waitemata. And Waitemata in English means sparkling waters. You can see the water's sparkling today.
There we are. It's beautiful. Smile, Ricky. You wouldn't really need a fish, you need to go to English.
I just thought I'd mention for your young ones, you can do the bridge climb over the top here on the right hand side. And actually where the crest of the bridge is here, actually underneath us about now is the bungee jump. And you jump to the left and down. Now I must admit I have done the bungee jump but not off the bridge. But my nephew's done it. And he said if you do decide to jump, he said, just watch out for boats below. We're heading north now. And we're on the North Shore. This is very much suburbia, so continue on this road for about 6 hours. Yes, as mentioned, we'll hit the very about now.
Oh wow, that is beautiful.
And it's big cloud.
Now this is going to start spinning around to the left hand side. Just point and shoot. And here we are, just for the ones that on the left hand side. Now there's a great truck just past this 80 kilometre sign here to the left hand side about now.
That looks pretty cool. That
About
really
now?
fast.
Sorry, I'm just trying to avoid the poles about now. I've got a bus behind me too, so
Share our photos
sorry.
and take with you.
A little bit quicker.
I can even put them on a USB stick and send them to you. Oh, Jeffrey. Oh, well, yeah, like you know it.
Now, of course, I think quite a few up on the big pointy thing up there, that Sky Tower. It's still the highest man-made freestanding structure in the southern hemisphere.
Going back there.
Over 1,000 feet to the very top, or 328 metres. Up the centre at its base, 2 hotels, 15 restaurants including a revolving one. Oh, by the way, as mentioned, you can jump off that as well.
Yes, you boys are just like billions. Been refurbished, lovely.
over the top of Victoria Park, named after Queen Victoria. She was the Queen of England at the signing of our founding document, the Treaty of Waitangi. It was signed between the Māori people and representatives of Queen Victoria here in the state. We play a game here called cricket. Not sure what it is. I guess from the US it's a bit like baseball but with a flat bat. It's the only game you can play for 5 days and still end up with a draw. A bit later on, that's our national stadium. That's Rugby Union's our national game, and that's where we had the final of the 2011 Rugby World Cup. Now we'll have the first of our stops in about 10 minutes time. Okay, if you have any Italian ancestry, don't be offended. We're just coming through Spaghetti Junction. This is where all our motorways, highways, freeways come together like spaghetti. I'm glad that I'm driving today. We've been guessed even with a GPS drive through here and end up in a totally different city from where they're going.
Lucky we were coming through here last night. Nice things about Auckland, we have all of this greenery. To the right hand side there's Harakeke, which is like a flax, there's Kawakoa, Bow. So these are all native plants in New Zealand. Sort of softens the concrete jungle look a little bit. As we come through underneath the bridge here, probably an example of just how much building is happening here is everything in front of us on the left hand side is the Auckland University. It goes back 6 blocks. We have 42,000 students attending this university. It is the biggest one in New Zealand. Now very shortly we'll have to stop at the beautiful Winter Gardens. Now what are we going to see there? Well, it's a great place to stretch your legs. We'll have a good 20-minute stop there. I'll show you the silver fern. It's our national emblem. I'm not sure whether anybody's seen the silver fern on board. Yeah.
It's our on our Olympic jerseys.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I'll show you the silver fern. I'd like to give you a free space and a good pot around. There is a coffee shop there. Some guests like to go and have a look at get a coffee. Some like to spend more time taking pictures of flowers. There's stunning in there, but there is a little bit of refurbishment happening. Everything's getting refurbished at the moment, including a tennis stadium in front of us. This is the ASB Tennis Stadium. Ferguson Rock, Serena Williams played here a couple of years back, maybe last year actually, started last year. Just coming into the Auckland Domain. So this is what Auckland used to look like 300 years ago. We used to have giants of trees, dense bush. And it was said that before man arrived that 82% of the flora of the trees and plants were only ever found only in New Zealand. And 98% of them were evergreen, so that's why it's always so green. That coupled with the 1200 millimetres of rain, or 54 inches of rain again, makes it very lush all year round.
That's a 16.
Paul, why is it called Auckland Domain?
Yeah, Auckland Domain's another name for a park, so it's a park that covers about 27 acres of land. Now these 3 red poles here, these are called po, and they protect an area where there's a native tree. You cannot chop down a native tree in Auckland, they're of carved ancestors. There's another bump coming up. For about the bumps, folks, there's a movie called The Fast and the Furious. It's very popular here. The kids used to drift down here. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, be a good little drifter.
We will go to Mount Eden. Now, Mount Eden is a sacred mountain, and the crater actually was once a burial ground. Hence the reason why we can only go halfway up. It's about a 228 yard or 300 metre walk to the top. So that's a little bit of walk up the hill, a little bit of, I guess what you would call an excursion. And straight in front of us is the Auckland War Memorial Museum. So we've got a boarding house here to left. About 2,500 boys go to the school, about 200 board here. The girls' version's on another part of the city. This is the headmaster's house to the left. And these are all senior teachers' homes through here.
Yeah, they're such beautiful old buildings.
Sorry, I was just thinking about Bill Finn for a minute. He's singing with Fleetwood Mac, and they're going to be touring here in September. Yeah.
It's a great song, Sydney.
I love Fleetwood Mac and I love
This is the sports fields here, and kids are rock climbing, rugby, soccer, hockey. By the way, that's field hockey. No ice.
No, really? That looks like fun.
There's artificial, yeah. Everybody okay back there?
Yeah.
No, they've made it bigger, haven't they? We were stopped, when I was in primary school, they stopped us being allowed to climb on the
Well, we're just coming up to Mount Eden now. As mentioned, this is our highest natural point. It's 647 feet above sea level, or 196 metres. And it's one of over 50 volcanoes in Auckland. But it's okay, the last time this one erupted was 15,000 years ago.
Wow.
But I must admit it is what we call dormant, it is not extinct. So when you get to the crater, if you do happen to see steam,
Run.
yeah, run. It looks pretty calm today. Everybody's looking pretty relaxed up here actually. But the crater itself was once a burial ground, and 300 years ago this was a Maori fortress. So that's why we ask guests to park down the bottom here and walk to the top. We're going to go halfway up. Now, a bit like the castles of Europe and England, if you needed to defend your people, you'd bring them up the mountain. And as we work our way up, this is all terraced out. In fact, we're on a terrace right now. And it would have been 10 foot or 3 metre fences on each side of us, all the way up the side of the hill. All been terraced out with a stick called a toe. It was a bit like a spade actually, and the early Māori dug out terraces. And we'll see a graphic example as we work our way up here. See it goes up in terraces going up the hill here. And the mountain's called Maunga Fo. Maunga means mountain, and Fo, it's a bit hard to see, is this tree here on the right hand side with the spiky buds and broad leaf. And early Māori would use the bark off this tree for fishing nets. It's as strong as balsa but light as cork, and it would float with the on top of the net. It would act like a float for the fishing nets underneath the faux tree. Now, explanation. Now up here to the left hand side is a mountain. Now, where these this family's walking up now, it's about a 7-minute walk to the crater, and when you get to the crater you'll see a big bowl. It's a bit like a big bowl, and that's the actual crater. So 15,000 years ago. Now what you do is you'll see a big pointy thing up on top, and that's the very top of Auckland. Now,
Wow.
it takes about another 7 minutes, sorry, probably another maybe 3 minutes to walk to the very top. Now up there you'll see 360-degree views of the city, and it is beautiful up there.
We're going.
But it is a bit of a hike. And so if you get a bit puffed, just stop, have a breather. Along the way you'll see Eden Park, our premier sports ground. Now you can walk to the top, and you'll see a rocky path. Keep walk up the steps, keep going to the very top. You can walk around the crater, but just make sure we come back down this way. Sometimes we have guests decide that they want to walk another way, go for walkabouts, and then get lost, and then we have to get helicopter to look for you. But no, just take your time going up. We've got plenty of time. So take 10 minutes walking up, spend 10 minutes up there. Oh, by the way, it's a lot easier coming down, 5 minutes coming down. And we'll be back here at 3 o'clock. Make it 3:40 after the Lord of Auckland. It was also interesting, you never saw the place. I guess that's the way things were done back then. But this is Mount Eden Village. So a lot of our workers lived around this area in the late 1800s. But these days this area is occupied by people, yuppies, or young urban professionals, upperly mobile, get 10 minutes away from the city.
Dinks, double income, no kids.
Yeah, just be careful, there's been many visits to the dentist. Now, yeah, as mentioned, this is the lovely Mount Eden Village. Just drive through here, lots of cafes.
You can spend the money in the city.
Yeah, I reckon you shortchanged us, Jeffrey. We should have had 4 weeks in. Just spent a week in Auckland.
Now, we're just coming through the suburb of Epsom. A lot of our well-to-do settlers from the United Kingdom settled around this area.
Bit different to our Epsom, Jeffrey.
We play a game here called Lawn Bowls. It's like bocce ball of the donk.
There you go, Jeffrey.
Well, I think the same thing here. They should be playing.
Could have done it about 3 or 4 nights before.
Oh,
Look at
yep.
the bowls.
This is
So
Lawn
there
Bowls.
you go, Jeffrey.
Why don't we go that crack?
And if there's anybody in the teaching profession, to the right-hand side is the Auckland Teachers College. This is where all our teachers get taught. Actually, it's been here 70 years, but it closes next year. They're moving it to the university, sold the land to the right for $80 million. They're moving it to the inner city. Property developers, yeah, I know. Well, interesting enough, the house prices in Auckland are absolutely soaring. For an average 3-bedroom house in an average area, on a quarter-acre block, the average house price is at $1 million.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You've got a quarter-acre block, that's amazing.
Yeah. And the average house price in this area, Epsom, is $1.9 million. So we've had 155,000 people move into Auckland in the last 4 years. So we've had high immigration. For 3 of those years we weren't building enough houses. We were only building 200 houses a week. We needed 300. And we had rampant speculation in the market. Wave to the cameras coming up. Yeah, so this is Paratai Drive. Now there are smaller homes through here, but as we work our way around, the houses will get bigger and bigger. And by the way, the cars get more German as well. Well, there are a few Land Rovers and Range Rovers here. And like I mentioned, there's been more building in Auckland the last 24 months than I've seen the last 24 years, so lots of building happening. And people who live around this area, we're 10 minutes away from the city, are big business owners, CEOs, diplomats, lawyers, doctors, bus drivers.
Nurses.
Actually, maybe not the second to last one, but sorry, I meant to say bankers as well. Yeah, lots of refurbishment. There's a house here being built here on the right hand side. Next one's getting refurbished. The one on there, these are all empty, and the next one's getting was getting demolished, but I think they're starting to rebuild it again now. Now, I don't know whether you watch a show on TV called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or New York or Melbourne, but we have a Real Housewives of Auckland, believe it or not. It's absolute rubbish, but there's about 6 ladies that just scream at each other.
Yeah.
There's reality TV shows. And this is Gilda's house here to the right-hand side. Now, Gilda's husband bought this for her and the kids 4 years ago for $14 million. Now, unfortunately, they're not together anymore. I think the 40-year age difference didn't quite work out. Now, there's a bit of old money through here. There's even a pink house, surprisingly enough. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The pink house.
Looks out over.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
They've had there's boats down there.
I think you need sunglasses at night for that one.
What male doesn't have a set that lets his
And
wife
coming up here on the right, you might see a big crane coming up and there's a waterfall here. Now they're building a $22 million house underneath this crane. Oh, by the way, if you did want to buy a house here, I need to give you this very important piece of information. If you did buy a house here, I need to let you know, very important, I need to let you know that you park your boat to the left, okay? That's where you park the boat, just down there.
Oh wow. Oh my god, look at that big one right over.
Yeah, interesting enough, I only just found out last week, because there was a house here to the right 4 weeks ago. It got demolished. And I wonder why they demolished it. Well, I found out last week is that the council approved that they could put a helipad, these people are building the house.
Oh wow.
Now, interesting enough, I have a funny feeling that's going to be dirt for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the neighbours have got done an injunction on it to not build it into a helipad.
Oh yeah, I could imagine.
It's terribly noisy.
Yeah, understatement. Sorry, everybody okay back there? Sorry.
You're saying no, you're not building that, so electric helicopter.
Yeah, that's
I'd say you can build it if I can borrow it.
Yeah. Now I might just borrow the Sundervise just for half a second. I'll just point out Auckland's most expensive house. So you just might see 2 silver cars here. The one on the left, to the left of that, you'll see a beige front. It's got red flowers at the top. Sorry, in the middle it's got palm trees. It's got tennis court. It doesn't even look like a house. It looks more like a complex. It goes up in levels. It is very important to level up. It's 12,000 square feet of house, or 4,500 square metres. It goes back 3 blocks. It's got a 16-car garage with car wash, the one with palm trees on it. And the previous owner spent 5 years and $42 million building that house.
Whoa.
It's Auckland's most expensive house. Well, interesting enough, the gentleman who built it was a New Zealander, but he got caught up in the last global financial crisis. Mark Hodgins owned one of these finance companies and then sold it to a Chinese businessman. Apparently the family lives here, but I've been driving up and down there for 5 years now. The only person I've seen is the guy who does the front lawns and the pool thing. It's empty. Although there is somebody up there at the moment, I can see the doors open. But most of the time it's 16 cars, yeah, I know, crazy, eh?
42 million is the
42
crazy
million,
part.
yeah. Well, actually the government CV at the moment is 46 million. So it'll sell for between 46 and 52 million at the moment.
Beautiful view though. Amazing view.
Yeah. Sorry. Still keep it moving.
Oh, job's off.
By the way, this house that's getting refurbished is Louise's house. She's another one of the Real Housewives of Auckland. And Louise made her money the old-fashioned way. Oh, she inherited it.
Not the world's oldest profession.
No. Again, there's a people in my spot. But we'll have a stop in 5 minutes' time, but there's a great view to the left, and we'll go down here and have a closer look.
That's not even a mask.
Yeah, so this is the entrance to the harbour.
Oh wow. That's what we saw when we flew in.
Right. The Waitemata sparkling waters. Alright. Yeah, what's that other?
41 million there, mate.
No, man. Up to 52, he said.
We only
Is
need
that the owner of the 16?
It's got 2 organ sticks.
Where did it go for?
It's probably got a 20-year-old wife.
He's probably in the garden.
People will ask me why there's so many average cars around the place. It is the help. A few places up for sale at the moment. Some lovely designer homes as we come down here. Yes, we- Yeah, we're just coming down to Katu Bay, so if you did want to go paddleboarding, sailing, kayaking, this is the place to do it. Very safe for swimming as well. Of course, well, if you weren't aware, we have had no shark attacks in the harbour.
Ever?
Not in this harbour, no.
Sharks just like eating Australians.
It's because we're
That's right, yeah, we're not smart.
Yeah, last time I saw a poisonous spider was when I was 10 years old, so you're aware of them.
And the snakes.
Crocodiles, tigers, lions, bears. Yeah, no snakes.
Snakes.
But what we do have is lots of beaches. We've got over 20 beaches around the inner Auckland area. We've also got lots of cycleways. As you can see, parks to the right hand side. So we're going to stop very shortly. We'll have our last stop at Bastion Point. We'll have a quick stop there. By the way, if you did want to, we've got an aquarium here too, sea life aquarium here to the right hand side. We call it sea life. Let's sit here to the right hand side. Bumps. As we come around the corner here, we talked about volcanoes before, and you'll see a rather large, well, this is our oldest volcano here to the left. This big island to the left that looks uninhabited, that's called Toto. That's our newest volcano. Now if we looked at there 650 years ago, that island was not there. That's erupted out of the sea. Rangi means sky, Tupu means blood red. So when it erupted, it turned the sky blood red. Now you can actually go out there, it takes about 25 minutes by ferry. You can walk to the top, but being uninhabited, just make sure you catch the last ferry back. Now behind there is Waiheke Island. That is stunning. It's lots of wineries there. That's about a 45-minute ferry ride as well. By the way, we do have one shark.
Gummy shark.
I think yours is having a rest. That's what the waves do. Before I said the kids, we put these speed humps down into the main. All the kids came here. All the Fast and Furious kids. Now we're just coming up here. This is a lovely area up here. This is Bastion Point. While we're here, well, as you can see to the left, there's a lovely look out here. This is the Michael Joseph Savage Memorial, and this is home. Well, to Michael Joseph Savage. He was our Prime Minister from 1935 to 1940. Now back then we had 25% unemployment, things were pretty tough. And there were stories of him and Peter Fraser, the Deputy Prime Minister, pulling bedding out of government house and giving it to people with nothing to sleep on. That's the type of man he was. But it's music on the way back. I'll play some Dame Curie to Carnival. We're going to do a little bit of backtracking now. And on the right hand side you'll see two hills over there, really glary, but There's North Head to the right, Mount Victoria to the left. It's Devonport, very English over there, so if you like a Devonshire high tea, it's the place to go. It's only 10 minutes by ferry to the other side, so there could be somewhere else you could go to this afternoon or evening. But I'll play a little bit of music for you, so sit back and relax and enjoy. The carpet for other Māori songs. Not sure whether I need to put out a wake-up call. Boats and more boats. Yeah, apparently we have one of the highest boat to people ratios. It's one boat to every 4 people in Auckland. They're really hard to see, but I mean you might see to the right a pink trimaran. Yeah. Really hard to see in this sunlight.
Right near us.
Well, that belongs to the pink house.
Oh, it does not.
That's what I was going to. I was thinking.
Do you know that just for sure? Or are you just having us on?
Well, we're just coming along Tamaki into the city. Falls in Auckland. Parnell Falls come out here on the left. And lots of lagoons here for swimming as well. We'll come past the port of Auckland. So we export lamb, beef, buttermilk all around the world. As you'll probably be aware, we do some pretty good wines these days. And if you journey around, you'll see lots of forests. We can grow an entire forest of Pinus radiata or pine trees. 15 to 25 years, and we export lots of wines. But just bear with us, we've just got a 10-minute drive through Parnell, and then we'll be back at the bottom of the city outside the stadium apartments.
Oh wow!
Well, the way sort of
That's partial remote, I reckon.
Yeah, it would be.
I only work for 8 hours a day. His bosses wanted to work lots more. He said no. I'm only working 8 hours a day, and he got away with it because there were only 2 builders in this area back in the 1840s. So it's actually credited with being the founder of our 8-hour working day.
Well, we work 8
Well, yes, this place is really famous for. It's because of roses now. We're at the end of the season now, so if you ever want to come back and smell the roses, this is the place to do it. Parnell Rose Gardens, but like I said, we're at the end of the season now. Primary school here to the left, it's 5 to 10 years old. Parnell Primary School. Now I'm just going to drive down Parnell Road very shortly, named after Samuel Parnell as mentioned. And this is one of the 2 P's. Parnell used to be our main tourist district once, still pretty busy through here at nights. Some really good restaurants.
I can smell food.
We should come up here more than we wander.
Yeah. Come up here tomorrow and have a wander. Oh! Oh!
We're not having big breakfast there, so
No, I'm
it's going to be easy to come and take a
4
breakfast.
kilos on
By the way, if you ever did decide to come back here, it's easy to start at the top and come down. So what's the plans for tonight? Gonna go for a boogie?
Might go for a few beers.
What's that, Richie?
No, Roger.
Replica guns.
Oh my
They got
goodness.
air something.
So I'm a bit out of touch with the young ones for nightclubs, so but there's a lot there obviously down the bottom of the city here, fair around Sky City as well. Now we're just coming along Beach Road here. Now the Wardorf Stadium's straight in front of us here.
Yeah, that's us.
So I'm going to pull over to the left further up. Is that okay?
We can
That's
walk.
fine, yeah, we
Whatever
can walk.
suits, we can walk.
It's just straight across the road, so lovely little railway station here to the right, which incidentally is no longer a railway station.
Is it a pub?
No, they're apartment blocks actually.
Ah,
Yeah, no, sorry. Pubs too, right?
apartment
Yep,
blocks.
please.
Now what I'm going to do, there's a bus stop right here, so I'm going to pull over here.
That's perfect.
What we'll do is
perfect.
we'll come and see off. Oops, where's this car going?
We're driving cars, we're driving cars.
Oh, there you go.
I have to pick up that new one.
And I'll stop here. And
Thank you, Paul. That was so
yeah, there's another countdown down here, the green building. That's 24 hours if you need to, just in case you need to go shopping at 3 o'clock in the morning. It really is glary, isn't it, today? we're just coming along Customs Street now, so if you like to eat Mexican, there's Mexico down there to the right. And to the far right, this is really the start of the entertainment area. Lots of restaurants, bars, nightclubs, all the way up to the viaduct. So this is the Britomart area coming up here on the right hand side. I hope we got some nice pictures there today.
Snow tower.
Well, that's right, that would be nice. Sunset today is in the next hour, so yeah. By the way, there's Tiffany's to the right if you need the shop. Sorry, it's not a shopping tour, but I just thought I'd mention it. Now I'm going to turn left up here and I'll go up Queen Street. I'll go halfway up and I'll do a stop out at Victoria Street, on the corner of Victoria Street and Queen Street.
Look at the lights.
And we'll go up to Sky City. Now, I know probably the shops aren't open now, but there is Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada. That's right, yeah, so that's a New Zealand company and they do really good merino thermals and great for winter actually, probably more for winter. There's about 26 different varieties, yeah. And they're bred for different things.
So what's the spot?
Retailers open. Now I'm going to turn right into Victoria Street and Sky Tower is just up the road here on the right. As you'll see, as you come around the corner of the big pointy thing. Yeah, I know, those scooters are everywhere these days. California company dropped about 600 of them on the streets about 6 months ago. And they work off an app. That's right. Yeah. Not so many. And I haven't looked at electric, but I'm not so sure going up all these hills how long the electric would last for.
There's no like plugging station.
And then you've got to find a plug-in station. That's right.